Hi, I'm Tom Hess, and I'm glad that you've come here to check out this video to learn more about how to start a guitar teaching business. As you can imagine, there's going to be two primary areas that you're going to need to identify, develop, and sustain over time in order to begin your business and then to make it grow and thrive over the long term. And those two areas are, of course, number one, your own guitar teaching skills and being able to get new skills, refine those skills so that you can not only have more to share with your students, but in addition, help them to stay motivated and inspired and be able to implement the things that you're actually teaching them into their guitar playing. Because as you know, information by itself is very limited in its power. But once you get people to implement and take action on and apply what you're teaching, now we have something real, something tangible that they're going to get from you, and they're going to be willing and eager to continue studying with you and paying you to teach them for a very long period of time, as long as you keep providing that value and help them transform their musical lives. Now, the other aspect, of course, is going to be the business side. There's going to be some specific systems and strategies that you're going to need to discover and then implement so that you're going to have a steady stream of new people contacting you about taking lessons from you. This is very important because as you get started with teaching, those students are not going to stay with you forever, right? So you're going to have to replenish the students that eventually move on after they've achieved their goals or moved away or for whatever reason decided not to continue with you. So ultimately you're going to have to do four main things in this area. The first is you're going to have a very good way to attract students. That's called lead generation. To generate new leads, new prospects, new people to contact you about taking lessons. The second area that you're going to need to develop is conversion. And what that means is when students or prospective students call you on the telephone or send you an email or whatever, you need to be able to speak with conviction and confidence to them in a very personal and relevant way so that those people who don't yet know you and are contacting you feel very comfortable and very confident that you are going to be the right teacher for them and you're going to be able to help them far more than a competitor or than they're going to be able to do on their own. Okay, so there are some very specific conversion steps that you're going to need to understand and apply in order to have people to say yes to you once they're in front of you or once you've got them on the phone or whatever the case may be. The third area is going to be in retention, and that means that once the students have begun taking lessons from you, there are specific things that you can do to help them stay with you longer. Now, some of the very obvious things would be things like making sure that you're actually helping them. Of course, this is one of the most important things, of course. And two, it's going to be up to you to help keep them motivated and keep them inspired and keep them committed to the process of learning. Now, as you know from being a guitar player yourself, that there's going to be times when we feel frustrated, and there's going to be times when your students feel frustrated with their progress or their rate of progress or what they're doing. And you know, because you're not a beginner anymore, you know and understand that there are specific plateaus that you're going to need to get to and then get to the next level and get to the next level. Well, your students, they don't necessarily know that. And they're going to need some guidance from you, and I have some very specific things that I can do or to show you on how you can do that. The fourth area that you're going to need to set up in a strategic way is going to be to generate referrals. That's when your students tell other people about you and you get new students in that way. Now, you might think, well, that's something that will just happen naturally as I teach my students, and as they get better, of course they're going to tell their friends about me. Well, some of them might, but a lot of them won't necessarily do that. They're willing to do it, but they don't necessarily even know that it's even okay to do that. So there are some very specific incentives that the most successful guitar teachers use to encourage their current students to refer more people to them, and it works like clockwork. It works like a machine. They have constant new referrals coming in all the time. And of course, this is very, very good for your business and just everything that you're trying to achieve. Now, I just quickly identified or laid out some different areas that you're going to need to understand and then apply and implement in order to begin or grow your teaching business to a much bigger level. What I'm going to suggest for you to do is come to my website. I have some free online resources that's going to help you to get more specific clarity on exactly what those little steps are, and then show you how to implement them so that you can get started right away. Okay? Now, I've been teaching for a very long time, over 15 years, and most of what I know has come from a decade and a half of trial and error. And what I'm going to do is provide this resource for you to understand what you need to do right away so that you don't have to go through 15 years of trial and error. Okay, so come to my website at the link below, take some self-assessments that I've set up for you, and depending upon how you answer each question, I'm going to give you via email some very specific tips and advice and feedback on how you can implement a specific strategy in each one of the areas so that you really can get started right away. I'm not selling anything here. This is totally free. Come to my website, check out the resources that are there for you. You'll be glad that you did.